Initially, when I was around 13, I really fell hard for the big romantic composers, Verdi, Puccini, Strauss, all of those people, and it stayed that way for a long time. And I really wasn't familiar with contemporary opera or early opera, Baroque, late Baroque, early classical opera. So I was sort of in that sweet spot for a long time. And then when I was around 24 or 25, I was touring my first album, and I had my first show ever in Milan, Italy, which was very exciting and also incredibly disappointing because nobody came, and it was a complete failure. But the promoters were very, very sweet, and as the Italians are, they let me speak Italian, they let me go visit their beautiful places, and so I don't think they felt bad for me. I think they thought that I had something, but maybe it just wasn't understood yet in Italy, which is kind of still the case, but it's another story. Anyway, but they gave my mother and I these incredible opera tickets, and it was opening night at La Scala. And we were, so my mother and I were really excited to go. We were also a little exhausted from touring and stuff, but we decided that, of course, this was like a big deal, going to La Scala for an opera fan. And that evening, they were doing Armide by Gluck, a beautiful opera that he wrote. And as I said before, I didn't know anything about late Baroque, early classical opera. So we were excited to discover stuff. The other thing is that we didn't have much to wear, so we were very low on the fashion scale, but we thought, hey, we're from let's be New York about it. Let's be real New York. We'll go kind of like downtown, cool, and so I wore a pair of my mother's pants. She wore one of my dirty T-shirts. We both wore eyeliner and had berets on and stuff, and spiked our hair, with gel and stuff. It was very mid-90s, attempt at something. A lot of that happening at that time. And so we arrive at the opera, and it's opening night. Everybody's there in their, Valentino gowns, dripping in pearls and diamonds and tiaras and fans. We looked homeless, basically. We looked homeless. But they were, as I said, the Italians were very, very sweet. You could see them be like, just in their eyes, you could see them go like, you poor North Americans. Thank you for trying and failing again. So we were a little insecure, to be honest. We felt somewhat fashionisted, and jet lagged, and so we weren't. So when the opera began, we weren't, in the best of sorts, and it started. And as I said, I wasn't really familiar with that type of opera. And I will say, for about a good 45 minutes, my mother and I were like, this is really bad. It's so stiff, and like, what are they talking, like the libretto, and we were just, poo-pooing it, If they aren't gonna like our fashion, then we're gonna hate their opera. And so we had a bit of an attitude, I guess. But then, about an hour in, suddenly it all clicked, and both Kate and I were totally, transported into this incredible world that Gluck created, and it was really this, it was a holistic experience of both the music, the libretto, it was conducted by Claudia Otto, I remember, and it just suddenly became the most amazing thing we'd ever seen in our lives on stage, or heard for that matter, and of course at La Scala. So it all came together, and it stayed with me to this day, that evening. And one of the main parts of the opera that really stayed with me for a long time was there's a rather famous scene where Armide, who's kind of an evil sorceress, she sort of sets out to kill this knight of Hainaut, And she sets up this incredible garden of earthly delights for him. And that's actually when the opera clicked for me, because the garden starts singing. The Baroque, when the garden starts singing, it's just, Anyway, so the garden starts singing, and Renaud falls asleep, and then Armide, with her dagger, is about to stab him, but of course, she falls in love with him. I hate when that happens too. And so that happens, and then subsequently she realizes she has to get rid of this love. So she then summons hatred from the bowels of the earth, who then rises up from hell and agrees to remove this horrible passion that Armide has for Renaud. And right before hatred pulls it out, Armide suddenly realizes, oh no, I want to keep love in my heart. I must keep love in my heart. I can't let go of it. And subsequently later, dies, which is, I hate it when that happens too. So that's sort of what happens in the opera. And then years later, and a few years ago, for me, I was in a situation where I needed to summon hate a little bit. I was in one of those kind of human exercises that everybody goes through at one point in their life, and I just needed every little bit of my force to get through it. So I wrote this song called Hatred, which just to use all that I could, and hatred did rise, and hatred did help me. But in the end, I chose love too, right before they were about to rip love out of my heart. So I related very much to that scene, and it stayed with me, and I wrote that song, Hatred. So now, we're going to do kind of a combination of all that I spoke to you about, and see you at the other end.